So the why of the blockchain. Why is the blockchain? Anyone know why is the blockchain? Is it decentralization? Is that the why of the blockchain? No, that's an outcome of the blockchain, right? Do you know who, I'll start with, do you know who Satoshi Nakamoto is?
Does anybody not know?
I do.
Okay, I mean, the real person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's Hal Finney. Let me tell you who Hal was. Hal Finney was a cryptographer, right? He hacked Netscape, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was a white hat hacker. He was part of the what do they call it? The anarchist group, right? It was called the crypto something the group. He wrote on the first blockchain, 2004. He's a tester, right? Any coder, if you know any coders, they want to test their code. He received the first Bitcoin, him testing the code. In 2009, 2007, he wrote a little tweet, says working, and I added on Bitcoin, right? 2007, he started working on Bitcoin. He was first thing out there, right? In 2009, he basically says, running Bitcoin. And then he's like going to science fair. It's his thing. Why would the guy be taking his idea to a science fair if it's not his idea, right? So you have to understand Hal Finney. Hal Finney became very sick very quickly with ALS. By 2012, he was incapacitated. Now, if you're married, right, and have a wife, I have a wife who thinks what I do is completely insane. I've been doing it for 10 years, and I'm still doing it. And she's like, when will you stop with this stupid Foundups? When are you going to give up and actually go be a teacher and do a serious job? Now, I can relate to what Fan, was like, this thing killed you. This stupid fucking Bitcoin. You have ALS. You have spent all this time. Listen, honey, you've got to write down these keys. I am too shaky. I can't fucking write them down for you. I can't type them. You have to. Fuck your keys. Fuck your Bitcoin. I want nothing to do with it. I can imagine Fan doing this, right? And by 2013, he was well on capacity. By 2004, he died, right? And she probably resented Bitcoin and hated Bitcoin and everything else and felt like Bitcoin fucking destroyed her husband, her love, her life, and everything, right? So unfortunately, the reason why it hasn't moved is no one has access to the keys. That's one option. Number two option, maybe in his will, if he was smart, he would have a sealed letter to his attorney. Says, listen, I know where Bitcoin is going. Do not release this Bitcoin to my wife. Right here are the keys.
Before
until it reaches 1 million. In 2009, he goes, what if Bitcoin becomes 1 million or 10 million a coin? In 2009, he knew Bitcoin was going to go there. So if he was smart, and I hope so, in 2010, you're only going to see all of a sudden his coins moving because all the attorneys are going to show up at her door and says, Fran, I got a gift for you, right? Please sign here.
Would be nice.
Here are the keys, right? Here are the keys for it. So I'm very passionate that I want Hal to be, recognized for his work, okay? He is Satoshi Nakamoto, right? Okay. And, so basically in 2009, 2010, I had a startup of mine stolen by YouTube, right? What you see YouTube now is part of my work called WikiTube TV. I had the first streaming videos. I had the first playlist in 2007, 2008. It built on YouTube API, right? I had it built. I went to try to raise money. I said, this is the future. It's all going to be this. Fucking investors didn't get it. I ran into a YouTube guy on the metro in New York. YouTube used to be based in New York. And the guy was like, yeah, I'm an executive. I was like, holy shit, you're an executive. Blah, 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 blah. I get off the metro, door closes. Like, fuck, I forgot his business card. Oh, don't worry. Google, don't be evil. He's going to connect with me. Within 8 months, all my work was on YouTube. I have a flame video where they even copied my fucking.
But you can't do anything. You can't.
To sue someone, you need $1 million. I live in Ahaji. I'm a poor English teacher. I live paycheck by paycheck. What can I do? I have no network. I have no attorney. I have, oh yeah, like, oh yeah, really? You met a guy on a, yeah, really? What are the, It's like if you have no money, there's nothing you can do. The whole lawsuit thing, right? I had no money. So I was pissed off. I said, you know what? Fuck the startup. I've been trying to launch my startup. Fuck the system. Fuck Wall Street. And I said, what would, if I wanted to disrupt the VC, disrupt, this whole fucking house of cards, what I would need to do? I would need to have a decentralized startup called a Foundup. A founder with an idea, a blue ocean. Because no one cares about founders with ideas. They want a founder with an idea that has traction, a team, and everything else. There's a fucking massive blue ocean here that I can tap into and get them. Well, in order to have a decentralized startup, I'm going to need to have basically a sandbox for them to be created in, okay? And obviously it's going to be on this thing called Bitcoin, the blockchain, right? So I described, and I can show you my documents. I can show you a diagram in 2010 that shows everything that basically Ethereum touted as, unique and mine, and 4 years before their launch, okay? So basically, I went to Dave McClure. I bugged him so much, he fucking blocked me. I went to Eric Ries. I went to hit him. I went to all these Silicon Valley. I actually went to Silicon Valley. I fucking went to be, camping saying, this is the future, this is, and I couldn't get anyone to listen. So I come back. And at that time, Noam Chomsky does this video called The Wealth and Power Cycle in 2011. I contact Norm. I said, Norm, I have the fucking answer to solve this very issue that you're talking about, right? My problem is I have no capital, I have no network. I live in Eiheiji, in fucking rural Japan, right? And he goes, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I said, fuck. So now it's December 2011. I'm miserable. My wife stops having sex with me, right? I'm even like, what the hell? I'm done. She's all, you're doing this thing. So, and this is weird. I'm at the pit. My wife stopped having sex. I'm kind of chanting. I felt really bad. A circle appears on my face. I'm not shitting you here. It's like as though I went like this. You have kind of red fest. You have like a red fest. You go like this, it goes white, right? It was seriously. And I know I have a video. I remember thinking, I said, what the fuck is going on with my thing? Why am I having, because I've been meditating every day, and I was like, I'm giving this up. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm at my thing. So I said, why is this circle? And I said, well, the Mayan calendar. And I've been making videos back then saying, maybe the Mayan calendar, and here is the Mayan calendar. He is sitting on blocks. Here's the blockchain, the Bitcoin. Around his head is Ethereum. Right? On his back, there's AI staring out into the world, and he's inside a fucking vault, the Bitcoin Global Reserve Fund. So this is a codex designed, left, hidden in plain sight for who? Undaodu. For me to see, and and I needed inspiration at this point. I was at my wit's end. So basically, I said, okay, Mayan, circle, Google, boom. The moment I saw this image, I was like, that's me. But then the reality, fuck, 6,000-year-old image, how the fuck can that be you? You're seeing shit, Mike. Stop being crazy, right? And it wasn't until the passing of my dad this year that I finally embraced it, because in his passing, and here's another good reason why I didn't do the ICI. I wouldn't have been able to be with him. I would be too busy doing Foundups bullshit. I got to spend the last 3 years with my father. The guy that basically was always there for me. I held him before he died. And before he died, magic happened. I watched the bird fly into the house in a way it shouldn't have flown in, ignore everything, fly to my dad. 2 days before, he says, I had my ticket. I said, what do you mean your ticket? Where are we going? I'm the guy, I know he's going to die next week. He's like, on his death, he's like, I have my ticket. Well, where are we going? Because he doesn't go anywhere. I'm his chief executive. He's a commander, right? How are we going? I don't know. I got my hips. I have my ticket. He's like, okay, he's a freaking whatever. I have his ticket. Then that damn bird comes in, flies around, ignores the windows, goes for my dad. Here's crazy. I see my dad tracking this fucking bird. He's blind. How is my dad seeing this bird flying over him? I said, this is some crazy magic stuff, right? And then, then it trolls me. It flies out, it opens, it goes out, and then there's another to go out, and it won't go out. And it's like I'm a 3-year-old chasing my dad around, and the bird is my dad having fun with me. And then when I go back to the kitchen because I have to make an omelet, the bird freaks out and is like freaking out in the place. And I'm like, and I'm like, my friend, I said, what's going on with this bird? And so I said to myself, dude, I just witnessed the craziest fucking shit, right? This is damn tame. That's me, compared to what I saw. And that is when I started believing in magic, right? I said, you know what? If that happens, then, right? So that it took me 9 years. My dad passed in April. I started embodying, I am Undaodu, right? I'm Undaodu. I accept this. And I also believe in quantum mechanics. In quantum mechanics, there is no time. The particles move in front. So who is to say that this energy, this time, this Sahdu, this time lord who basically saw this future and was like, on a quantum scale, this information can travel back and forth in time, right? So who knows, right? But I accept it, right? So it awoke me, right? You can imagine, the circle disappeared. The circle disappeared. I was re-energized. I felt I had a purpose. And I said to myself, who are these Bitcoin people? Okay, new pivot. I tried the VCs, failed. I tried Noam Chomsky, who's failed. Okay, let's see if these Bitcoin fuckers will understand what I'm trying to do, right? And I knew these guys won't sign an NDA. The Bitcoin fuckers. I'm not even going to ask them to sign an NDA because they're not going to sign an NDA. So I Googled Bitcoin. And the first thing that comes up in 2011, what do you think it was? Bitcoin Magazine.
A Bitcoin magazine.
It was founded by a guy called Matthew D. Wright, who has disappeared. I call him ETH Waldo. Hashtag ETH Waldo. Where's Waldo? ETH Waldo. I call him ETH Waldo. He is the actual founder. Supposedly, he sold the magazine to Vitalik for $24,000. I know for a fact Vitalik was broke back then. He was writing articles. He didn't have fucking $24,000. And not only that, have you done any startups? Do you have a startup? Do you have any
Worked for
projects?
one.
Would the founder sell his fucking baby for $24,000? Fuck one. No one is gonna sell their baby. You're gonna fucking laugh the guy in the face, right? So it doesn't add up, right? So I know that he was the CEO. I know he also has he was a visionary, right? And here's the deal. This is something you don't know. ETH Waldo, like Ver, was blacklisted from BitTalk, the forum. He has 6. So I researched this guy. He has. If you do ETH Waldo, you can see my research on him. I did the first post like, "Where's ETH Waldo?" Oh, he's probably weird. The people who replied. So then I did a follow-up post with actually, oh, he's probably not real. He's a suit. The guy was so arrogant. He had pictures and everything else. He was the biggest fucking asshole I'd ever met. And I know the moment I met with him, I'd never worked with him. But I thought maybe I could steal his developers to work for me, right? Because I'm an entrepreneur trying to build this fucking thing, right? So I talked to the second guy I talked to. His name was Vladimir. Vladimir is a top 10 in Bitcoin. He's a mathematician, right? He's one of the major shakers. He spent like 1 minute with him. Now I'm not interested, right? The third guy I talked to was Mihal Alisi, and we fucking bonded like brothers. I spent a month decoding. He was asking me questions, how everything would work and everything else, and I shared him all my IP, the slide. I had a 30-page deck. I had a soft proto of a DApp, how it would work, everything. I had like I showed the first DApp and everything else. It was written on SlideRocket, which was hostilely acquired by ClearSlide, and all my data got fucking deleted on it because they basically ClearSlide wanted to kill the competition. So whilst all this has happened over the years, they had a friend. It was a friendly acquisition by an enemy. So they got a friend to acquire it, and then the friend sold it to them, and they killed Clear. It was SlideRocket. It was the best PowerPoint shit you could do. There's no PowerPoint that's ever been close to this day, right? So, but I have some images of it that I have in the pictures, but it was all dynamic. Yeah, I could, do all this stuff. And I do have some YouTube videos of me kind of talking about some of it. I hid, the API stuff was hid, right? So if you go back to 2011, 2012, you can see my talks on this shit. So basically, so I unload, and he goes, "Man, what you have done completes what we're working on. We're working on something called smallplanet.net, and it's the stealth name for Ethereum, right? You have to understand, Matthew was blacklisted from the site. He wanted to destroy Bitcoin and started working on Small Planet as a better iteration of Bitcoin. That's the background of Ethereum. Something happens to him. Either he commits suicide or he is killed. I don't know what happened to Matthew, but he is, or one of the things is he stole 50,000 Bitcoin and is off living, somewhere. But he fucked over some very powerful people, like some, major people now in the industry. If you look at he was talking to billionaires that are billionaires now. And if he fucked over these guys, who knows? One of them may have hired some, Russian group just to fucking get rid of this. And he was an asshole. I could see someone just wanting to fucking murder him and kill him, right? He was the biggest asshole. I'm serious, right? But most geniuses are that way, right? Except for me. I'm an unlikable guy. So basically, Mihal says, "Oh my God, you complete what we're working on." So imagine I unload all this. I'm trying to get to join me working, and he goes, "You complete what we're working on." And what he was talking about is the DAO. My Foundups, when Occupy Wall Street happened, I was twittering. If you go back to my tweet, right, I was like, "It's not fucking Wall Street. Wall Street is just an outcome. The problem is the startup. Change the startup, change Wall Street," right? And I thought, on it. So, the DAO, what I called, there were open cooperatives or open corps, right, that were autonomously run and had their own stakeholders on it. They're DAOs, right? Decentralized autonomous organizations. So that was the missing part that they didn't have. And the reason why MadeSafe never made it, because they missed that part. That part of here's a project that actually becomes an entity that exists on this blockchain is powerful, because what it means, see, this is what Vitalik doesn't understand. The reason what I realize is it makes sense, because now if we have Foundups becoming Danos, replacing corporations that are all on the blockchain, if everyone moves from this field to this field, we've just killed capitalism. Just by simply disrupting the startup, right? But the one thing I was missing, which only came to me a month ago, so this is 10 years, I'm still kind of, figuring out this codex, was this part right here. I knew this was AI. I thought this was my monitor. It wasn't. It's what I call the Bitcoin Global Reserve Funds. These are, instead of thinking of Bitcoin as independent things, right? You have funds of Bitcoins. They're DAOs that exist on Bitcoin, on these blockchains. It won't probably be Ethereum because it needs to be quantum resistant. It's got to be on like Cardano or Elixir or something that quantum computing can't basically hack through and hash through and rip out all the code. Everything has got to move to quantum resistant, blockchains, right? Probably about that.
We got a couple of years before we.
Of course,
yeah.
Right. But Cardano's there. Elixir to me is really exciting, right? The guy running Elixir is pretty, and they all know that, right? So we anyway, and the thing I look at it, probably we've got more than that, because if you have a choice of stealing Bitcoin or stealing fiat, which are you gonna fucking rob from? You're gonna fucking rob the fiat. You're gonna rob the banks, and they're not gonna shoot themselves in the foot. I hope the people won't be greedy that way, but you never know, right? So the bottom line is that my message is now that that these funds ultimately, if you think of this as these are Foundups, so the fund founds Foundups. Everyone's going to run what I call the Obey protocol. Obey is Open Beneficial AI, and that's why I was angry this morning. There's a war, okay, and to me, the Indian guy was basically pro AI. Okay, the war that's coming is their AI that's going to subjugate us and imprison us and take our data, and our AI, Obey, that's going to protect us, keep our data, and work for us. That listens to you, right? So, and I have a solution. So, how are we going to kill Bitcoin? How are we going to kill Facebook, Google, all these corporations? Really simple. So, you're going to run this protocol. And the answer, the guy said, how do we get this data, this privacy data? I've got the answer to that, right? You're going to run this protocol. It's going to be a wallet. It's going to be a wallet, right? It's going to be a wallet. It's going to be a personal blockchain that's going to surround you, and it's going to freaking milk all your information for you. It's encrypted. It's going to save it. You're going to own it, right? And once we get and everyone by and then it's going to monitor what you're doing. So if you go from and the AI is going to treat us like that game, that Go game, right? And it's going to say basically, can I lower? You're a Go player. There's white players and there's black players. The black players basically are going up. The white players are going down, and then there's maybe another player that's not. It's your footprint. So the thing is can I motivate these hairless monkeys to lower their footprint, right? Their CO2 footprint down? What I need to what kind of banana do they want, right? So the AI is constantly looking. So for example, it will do like a Groupon, right? It says, hey, it will know that, for example, that you want a fucking electric car, right? But you can only spend $5,000 for it. Okay, so it's going to look all out there. It's going to find, a bunch of electric cars. Then it's going to go to organizations that are trying to lower and say, hey, we want. Would you be interested in helping 1 million people move from a gas car to electric car? Would you make an investment in it of $1 million? $1 per coin, right? Then it's going to take that $1 million and discount the car's value even more. So all of a sudden the car is worth, like, congratulations, Bob, right? Right? You can get that car. And not only that, we're going to give you ups for getting that car. So all of a sudden it does this autonomous Groupon, and it just wipes out, and it's like, and it will do things like that, right? So the AI is going to know what you want, it will be your personal assistant. People are going to call you up, like the Google one that's so real. It's going to be you, and you're going to say, I never want to talk to this fucking Mike Trout. He's annoying as hell. He just talks. So when I call you, he's going to say, hey Mike, hey man, Hey, am I talking to you or am I talking? Yeah, of course it's me. What do you need? Well, I'd like to, So I walk away, and then the Noodle says he wants to meet with you if possible. No, I'm not. I'll get back to you. I got to check my schedule, right? So I won't even know. Are you sure this is Bob? Yeah, of course it's me, right? The AI is going to be your personal assistant, right? It's going to be doing that, right?
I heard a variation of that is it says, sure, you can talk to him, but you have to pay the fee.
Well, that too.
And then you
right?
set the fee based upon how likely you are
But
to
see,
want to talk to them.
that doesn't, that they do that with his Earn does that. I don't like that, right? I would rather, yeah, you could say, do you want to pay ups? How important? But I'm talking about, so you know me. So in this situation, we're technically friends, but you don't want to tell a friend pay a fee, but you really don't want to talk to the friend because he's annoying, right? But you're like, you don't want to be rude. You don't want to be rude to the guy because maybe he will be the next fucking Bill Gates, right? So you're like, so the whole idea is kind of this balancing game. I don't want to be rude to Mike Trout, this crazy dude who may go somewhere, right? And, so the thing is that the data that all these data scientists need will be gathered by this protocol. You will be paid ups every time that your footprint is lowered, right? Or there is what's known as proof of benefit. Proof of benefit basically is built on 3 questions, and the questions are, how are you impacting the planet? I started gardening. It's a huge, I'm growing my own food, right? These are like huge, and the benefit is, oh yeah, I had your tomato, it's really good. The AI, it said, oh, there's value, okay, ching-ching, it drops you some ups, right? So just as you mine Bitcoin, everyone's going to be mining Obey, and Obey, the ups token is basically constantly being released, just like Bitcoin is, but in basically making you a better person.
Okay. But
right?
do you think that Bitcoin will be over?
No, it will be gathered up by my funds. So the fund basically does this. The fund says it's going to convert all fees. So when these Foundups become these Danos, and you pay, you're going to pay fiat currency. It takes the fiat currency, converts into Bitcoin, puts it into the fund, and releases ups. So the fund becomes like a Fort Knox that no one can get into, and it has a hard code that says it will never release Bitcoin. See, you can't go to Fort Knox and say, hey, give me gold. Here's, back in 1970, it's, hey, my $100 written says it's backed by gold. Yes, it's backed by gold. So what's going to happen is the foundation of this new social capitalism movement is Bitcoin, right? That's the foundation. That's the currency. However, it's going to become the gold. Eventually, it's all going to be gobbled up into these funds. It will just be there as the Fed, so it becomes the global reserve for social capitalism. It then releases ups, right? Every time more Bitcoin comes in, right? Whatever the value conversion is. And not only that, when you do a Foundup, the AI automatically tokenizes your Foundup, automatically creates the social media sites, does all this stuff, right? And creates its own token. And here's the cool thing about ups, unlike Bitcoin. Ups evaporates. So you can't hoard ups. So the longer you hold ups, it starts to lose and it goes faster and faster. The only way to and this is important as an entrepreneur, we need people investing into Foundups. Foundups are founders with an idea for solving a problem. Okay, it's not a startup is investing in monetizing a problem for benefit. A Foundup doesn't care about monetization. It just cares about solving a problem. So all of a sudden, you got these ups. In order for you to secure the value, the value of these ups is you invest it. The AI will do the investing for you. You'll have a slider, like it will know what you love. You may want to invest in your country's ones. You may want to invest in these. And and so automatically you have these people earning ups. They're placing the ups. They're investing into these Foundups. These Foundups level up into Danos. These Danos now are basically the next Googles, the next Facebooks, right? There's a conversion there because when a Foundup becomes a Dano, it's congratulations. Now you got to sell out of those tokens. Those tokens are only there as a Foundup. Now you're going to get ups. You got 20 million ups. Now you can use the ups to actually buy the Dano token, or you could use the ups to invest in more Foundups. So it's this hyper scaling system that that once gets going is just going to scale tremendously.
Okay.
So there you go. All right, she can watch my video.